Amazon is testing the addition of robot warehouses to Whole Foods so shoppers can pick up other orders at checkout. Okay. According to CNBC, Amazon is building a micro-fulfillment center attached to a Whole Foods location in the Philadelphia suburb of Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania. Once the facility is operational within the next year, shoppers will be able to order items from Amazon's website and its online grocery service, Amazon Fresh, while browsing Whole Foods and pick it up in the store as they're checking out. The arrangement would allow shoppers to buy staple goods from brands that aren't carried at Whole Foods markets. For example, the Pepsi soda and Kellogg's cereal that is on top of your kids' list and may prevent some people still from going to a Whole Foods to complete their trip. And now it taps into the vast online Amazon catalog of items. Chris, this is the A&M, the real
The real
A&M.
one.
Put you on the spot question. A&M wants to know, in Amazon's play to consolidate trips and increase baskets through Whole Foods, will the end consumer impact here be more trips to Whole Foods from non-Whole Foods shoppers or just fewer trips by Whole Foods shopper to other grocery retailers?
Oh man. Oh Jesus. That might be my favorite question all time from A&M.
Yeah.
But yeah, before I answer that question, I got to give a shout out to Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania. Did
Yeah.
you know there was a Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania?
I didn't, but I didn't question it. When I read it, I was like, sure, this makes sense. Like
Yeah.
Plymouth Meeting feels like where all the pilgrims came and
Like,
had
would you
Thanksgiving
like to have been
dinner.
in
I
the
don't
room where
know.
the town created their name? Like, I would love to have been in that room. What should we call ourselves? Well, we're meeting. We're near, I
In
don't know,
Plymouth here, near
Plymouth.
Plymouth
Yeah,
Rock.
let's call ourselves Plymouth Meeting. I don't know. But anyway, all right, back to the question. So will the end consumer impact here be more trips to Whole Foods from non-Whole Foods shoppers or just fewer trips by Whole Foods shoppers to other grocery stores? It's an amazing question. I'm gonna go bold on this answer, and I'm gonna actually say that when you combine this with what's going on in headline three and where Amazon is potentially heading, I think
Yep.
the answer is actually C. I think it's
Okay.
going to mean yes, fewer trips by Whole Foods shoppers to other grocery retailers. But if these headlines both play out as intended, it will also mean less trips to Whole Foods stores by Whole Foods shoppers as
Hmm.
well.
Okay.
Because,
How come?
and I say that for a couple of reasons. First, the use case is just freaking silly. Like, I can't
Yeah.
stand the use case. I'm standing in a Whole Foods and I'm going to go on my phone and order Pepsi. No, it's not going to happen. I can do that much easier from my couch based on what you're trying to put forward in headline number three. So,
Yeah.
so if you believe the consolidated idea, people are going to gravitate towards that, which ultimately leads, if you play this out, which ultimately means you're going to have less shoppers in Whole Foods, which is going to mean less margin for Whole Foods over time, less long-term investment in Whole Foods in-store experience. And here's the thing, Ann, this is where I'm getting bold, which ultimately means the eventual death of Whole Foods as we know it today and
Oh,
love it.
wow. Okay.
So, which brings up an interesting question. And here's why I say that, which brings up an interesting question. If Amazon were to sell Whole Foods right now, would it be
Hmm.
worth more or less than they originally paid for it?
Oh, God. I have no. What do you think? I don't
My
even
my
know.
guess is it would actually be worth less because Amazon has done nothing with it. And now I think this headline, if they keep playing this out the way they are, this is essentially going to kill it because Amazon's mass market dominance is so strong in e-commerce that it's going to pull people out of the actual store, which is going to create the death of Whole Foods down the line. That's my prediction here.
Oh, man. You've given me so much to think about in this. I
That's why I
mean,
love this show. I got
yeah.
went down a big rabbit hole on this, and I I kind of think it's gonna happen. Like, if this is how it's gonna play out. Like, if you're trying to get people to buy Pepsi while they're in Whole Foods, like,
Yeah.
what are you doing
Well,
here?
I don't disagree with you. I mean, I think that that's what I was thinking. Like, my biggest concern here is like these are mini warehouses right now, and how much product can you actually fit? Like, yes, we know Coca-Cola and Pepsi
Right.
and, Doritos you can't buy in a Whole Foods, but then like what? So then I'm like, well, does it just make sense to start carrying these products inside of a Whole Foods if you know that that's what it is? Like, why are you going to put this to a mini warehouse and put the friction point on the consumer then to have to like order that separately? Like, why wouldn't you just start
Yeah.
carrying it in your store? But then you defeat the purpose of Whole Foods as a concept to begin with. So like that to me, that brings up a really interesting point. I will say that this does kind of put some clarification to what Claire Peters was talking about last week at grocery shop when she said they were trying to consolidate trips and make shopping easier. I wish we knew about this when she was talking because I think that would have straightened things out a little bit, at least under given us an example of what to expect of what they're trying to do.
Mhm.
But ultimately, like I just keep getting back to how much can they fit in there? And are you still going to force me as a consumer to do another trip? Because I don't know that, in your mini warehouse, you're going to have all the things on my list that I could just let, to your point, walk into a Target or walk into a Walmart and check all off my list in one trip and be home and not have to do anything else.
But here's the thing, you will from home. Because of headline number
Yes,
three, you will from home. You will be able to get that delivered to your house from home because of the consolidation effort. So,
right.
see, I actually disagree with the point on Claire Peters too. Like, I actually think this is just further emphasizing the fact that I have no idea what their grocery strategy is when you look at everything they have under their banners. Like, they have
Yeah.
Amazon Fresh, they have the Amazon website, they have Whole Foods, they have these other retailers that are. The other part of this too is the other retailers that are selling through Amazon as well that I'm assuming will be part of this consolidated effort. So if
Hmm.
you have all of those happening, Amazon's going to pull a hell of a lot of e-commerce volume from consumers over time. But I don't think those same consumers are going to be the ones going into stores anymore to the same
Yeah.
degree. And so that means that the stores they used to frequent are going to struggle. And Whole
Yeah.
Foods is going to be the prime one in my mind that struggles.
Right. And again, like you just made me think of something else. So the other part of this is still the stores issue that Amazon has. And like the whole like
Yeah.
problem with what the shopping experience is going to be like
Right.
in the Whole Food store. Because I think this also takes out, like, you're still not having the discovery that happens of
Right.
product in, like, it shows you that Amazon's not thinking about the merchandising of that discovery. Like, how are they going to put
Right.
are they going to put socks on display? Is there going to be signage for Pepsi that you can order? Like, how do you have that those moments happen in a physical environment? Fine, that you know how to do it in a digital environment, like you said, and you'd order all that stuff to your house. But like, what's this going? How are they thinking still about what their grocery footprint strategy is going
And
to be?
that's a great point because my biggest lesson leading the Store of the Future project at Target is the
Yeah,
last thing I wanted was a consumer to be on their phone looking for a product they can't get inside my store
yeah,
because then they're missing all the
right.
merchandising that I am making the effort to put in front of them in the store, right?
So
That's
yeah,
a
so
big
Chris,
disconnect when you get right
it
down to it.
is. So what do you think is going to happen? Like, do you think that they're going to, like, one, do they have enough product to test this in those mini? Like, I still go back to like what's in the mini warehouses? How many
I just don't
SKUs
think
can
it's
you
going to
hold in
happen
there?
to it.
You don't think. So you think this
No,
will
I
just be
don't.
like killed as a test and it's not
I think
gonna.
I think it's a fun thing to talk about. I don't think consumers will actually do it. I think they'll either coordinate the order before they get there or they'll just order from
Yeah.
home and never leave their house. Like that's what's
Right.
going to happen. Like I'm
Oh
not going to be
my God.
standing in the chips aisle and go, "Oh, you know what? I can pull out my phone now and I'm going to order a
Yeah.
bag of Tostitos for the party I'm going to
Right.
have." Like it's just not going to happen that way because
Right.
it maybe as a one-off, but that's not going to move anything. So, I mean,
Yeah.
ultimately what I think is going to happen here is I think Whole Foods is either going to go struggle or it's actually going to get sold, which is why I thought of the question of like, how much is it worth right now? Is it worth more or
Right.
less since Amazon took it over?
Right. No, it's a great point. Oh
Maybe it could be worth more to
God.
somebody because they could probably do something creative with it. I don't know.
All right, people, we
But
want to
yeah,
hear what
fun
your
one, huh,
thoughts
Ann?
are.
Fun one.
Send us slide into the DMs and tell us what you think about this
I,
one.
I always love when we
Um,
get thinking in real time. We never
I
know which
know,
way the
right?
conversation is going to go when we start thinking in real time. It's always dangerous.